You love gambling.
I do.
What's the biggest win of your gambling career? Maybe psychologically, if not financially.
Well, two things. I won $1 million hand one night. It's happened one time. $1 million hand one night at Mandalay Bay. And then one summer, I beat Caesars for $12 million throughout the summer. Yeah. And then I'm on a pretty good run right now, too.
This is blackjack.
Yeah.
What's the biggest loss?
Biggest loss was I would call this the biggest loss for many different reasons. This is what, you live and you learn in life, and you figure things out as you go along. Yeah. So one night I'm over at the Rio, right? And they got big suites over there. So I go over there with some buddies, and we got one of the suites, and we have some dinner, and we start drinking, right? So we're having some drinks at dinner and blah, blah, blah. Starts to ramp up. I'm having a good time. And I make my way down to the high limit room. We start gambling, and I continue to drink, having a blast. I end up leaving and going home that night, and I lost like 80 grand. Right. So I wake up the next morning. I'm like, fuck, those motherfuckers got me for 80,000 last night, and da 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 da. So I'm at work the next day, and the host over there calls me, and he says, "Hey, Dana, are you coming back? Do you still need the room that you guys had where you ate and all the shit you used to?" And I said, "No, I don't need the room, but don't get too comfortable with my fucking 80 grand. I'm coming back for it."
Yeah.
Dead fucking silence on the other end of the phone. And he's like, "Dana, you lost $3 million last night." What the fuck are you talking about? I only have a $1.5 million credit line. He goes, "Yeah, you made us call the GM of the hotel, and you started calling him a fucking pussy and da 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 da." And I went, that sounds like something I would do. Yeah.
So that's the real number.
That was the real number. And then, there's been a lot of cases where people are in Vegas and they're like, I lost all this money, and they were giving me free drinks, and I drank too much, and I was taken advantage of. Yeah. No, you stupid motherfucker. Man up. You got fucking drunk, right? They didn't. Alcohol is free.
Yeah.
But you don't have to fucking drink it. You know what I mean? And, this was a huge learning lesson for me. So I never drank again when I was playing cards after that night.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, I mean, when you ask me, that's the one that stands out in my head the most as far as having a bad loss. And then, of course, I said, call the GM, and I started calling him a pussy at 3:00 in the morning. So
of course you did.
That is something I would absolutely do.
How do you deal with those psychologically? Do you, when you gamble, maybe this applies to fighting too, do you love winning or hate losing more?
They go hand in hand. So the way that I play is, I live in Vegas. So 2024 is a war for me. I go to war in 24. Okay. All these nights that I play are little battles inside the war that I will fight in 24. Now, at the end of the year, we will tally up all these little battles and see where I stand on wins and losses. And there's lots of talk out there about my gambling. Places that I've been kicked out of and things like that. And I do pretty well. But it's what I like to do. I don't gamble in a way that I would ever hurt myself or hurt my family or, I'm sure you've heard the Norm Macdonald stories. Norm Macdonald lost like his entire personal wealth 4 times or something like that. That's not going to happen to me.
So you manage it, but just psychologically, you're able to be even keel.
Yeah. So when I win, it's awesome. It's always great to win. Winning is a great feeling. in business, in sports, in life, and definitely in gambling. Losing is never fun, but it's part of the game. You know what I mean? If you want to be in the game, and it's sports, it's business or whatever, there's going to be wins and there's going to be losses, and you have to take them both in stride, and you have to be able to, there's a lot of people when you gamble, right, and you lose, and you go into a deep, dark depression. I've seen this with guys that do it. Get depressed. Gambling isn't for you. If you are the type of person that's on social media and people say horrible things to you and you get depressed and you shouldn't be on social media. You know what I mean? These are all part of being in the game. When you're in the fucking game, great things happen and really bad things happen. And you got to take it all in stride. And you got to pick yourself up the next day, strap your fucking shoes back on and get out there and go to fucking war again. That's how it works.
That's some Goggins shit right there. All right. I love that motivational speech.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's the truth, though. Listen, every day when you get out of bed, life's standing right there to kick you in the fucking face, man. Could be anything. Could be you get up and you walk downstairs, you got a fucking flat tire and you're late for work and you got this and that. Life is going to throw all kinds of crazy shit at you, right? And you have to be ready for it and you got to fucking deal with it. You can't curl up into a ball. You can't run away from it. You can't hide. You have to take all this shit head on. You have to get up every day when I get up out of bed, I strap up and I'm getting ready for fucking war. Because I know I'm coming in here. I know a bunch of bad shit's going to happen that I'm going to have to fucking deal with. And if that's not bad enough, when I finally get out of here, I'm probably going to go to the casino and I'm going to get into another fucking war. You know what I mean? I thrive in chaos. I actually love chaos. Everybody talks about retiring. Fuck that shit. What am I going to do when I retire? What would I do? I like to go to war. I like to battle. I like to win. Sometimes I lose, but then I have to come back from the loss. And I love to build brands. I love to set short-term and long-term goals and then knock them all down. This is just the stuff that excites me. And whether it's business or gambling or I like being a fan of things too. Like I like live music. So when I find a band that I like, I get excited to go watch the band live or a Celtics game. I love the fucking Boston Celtics and I love, going to the games and watching them. This is the year. Hopefully we're going to fucking win it this year. These are all things that make me happy and excite me in my life. And it's funny because there's this post that I post maybe 3-4 nights a week. I also love the city. I can't tell if the city of Las Vegas was built for me or I was built for this fucking city, but I love it. And there's this turn on Summerlin Parkway, right? Every night and it's dark. And from there you can see the entire fucking city and it's all fucking lights and it's badass. And I'm usually driving home after a fucking incredible day, right? This amazing day and this unbelievable fucking life that I have. And I have this just moment of gratitude. Every time I take that turn and I'm like, God damn, I love this fucking city. And just every night when I go home, I'm just so happy and grateful for this life that I have.
So you're grateful, you're celebrating, even if the day is full of shit, yet full of problems, you have to solve all of this. You're still able to put that behind you.
I love that too. I love problem solving. I love taking things that seem impossible and fucking what's been shit on more than this fucking company right here.
Yeah.
Power Slap, right?
Yeah.
This thing's a fucking beast. Yeah. It's an absolute beast. In 13 months, that's the most successful thing I've ever been a part of. And I love every fucking minute of it, especially the negativity. I love negativity.
Oh, so you almost feed on it. That's great. That's great. You're built for it.
I eat that shit for fucking breakfast, man. Great. I love it.
What's your favorite movie about Vegas? Casino?
Yeah, it would have to be Casino. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
You ever see a movie that changed your life, that actually impacted your life in some way, shape, or form?
Probably.
Which one?
That's a good question. I have to think. I have a lot. Casino could be one of them. Probably taught me about women. Forrest Gump for me is a simple movie, but it was a really good movie to show. It reminded, because I've been really fortunate in my life, like over and over and over, and I don't think I deserve any of it. So I just always felt like Forrest Gump. So when I finally saw it, it really connected with me. It was like, okay, this universe works in weird ways, and stuff just materializes, and you just kind of be good to people, like put that good karma out there, and it happens for you. So that was a movie like that.
I'm actually very superstitious about that. I believe that what you put out, you get back. And I believe that when you have, you should take care of other people, and you should always try to bring people up with you and all that kind of stuff. But the movie that changed the whole trajectory of my life was Vision Quest.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
Vision Quest, man, I fucking love that movie. It's basically, it's telling the story of a kid who really wasn't anybody in high school, and nobody kind of knew who he was. He wasn't popular or any of that kind of shit. And he decided that was the year that he was going to make his mark. And he was a good wrestler at 178 pounds, but he was going to move down to 160 something to take on the Shoot, the scariest guy and the whatever. But there's all these little things in the movie that really lay out what life is all about. One of the parts is he's in a class and he's talking about, the teacher's talking about some poem. And he says, "What does this poem mean to you?" Well, this little girl's walking through, the park, and all the leaves are falling off the trees. And she realizes that she's going to die someday. And that a lot of people think they have all this time, so they fucking waste it. And they never go out and do what they really set out to do or accomplish or do anything great in their life. That's one meaning. Then he's got the guy that he works with at work. He's cutting weight and his nose is bleeding and all this shit. And this guy keeps going, "Why the fuck are you doing this? Pick that thing up and eat it like a fucking man. This is ridiculous. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself, blah, 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 blah." So then when he meets the girl and he gets to the point where he feels like he wants to quit, right? Where does he go? He goes to that guy's fucking apartment, because he knows when he shows up at this guy's apartment, he's going to go, "Yeah, fuck this shit." No, he went to work. He went to work to talk to him, and he wasn't at work. He took the night off. So he shows up at the fucking house, at the shitty little fucking apartment that the guy lives in, and the guy's putting his suit and tie on and shit. He's like, "They said you called in sick. What's going on?" He's like, "Well, yeah. Aren't you wrestling this guy tonight?" And he's like, "Yeah, but why would you? You're going to get docked a night's pay and all this other shit." He says, "You know what, man?" Then it all gets laid out. I get the goosebumps even telling you this fucking
Is that
part.
The Pele speech?
Pele, yeah. When he's saying about, I'm fucking cooking in an overnight hotel fucking thing, and I live in this shitty apartment. A human being can lift himself upside down and backwards and kick a ball into a fucking net, and the whole stadium goes crazy, and this guy runs around, and I'm sitting here in my fucking apartment alone, and I start crying. Yeah, I start crying. So the guy who's been shitting on him the whole fucking time actually really respects him for what he's done and sees what this kid is capable of doing and all this shit. This fucking movie spoke to me on so many different levels. And I think it's probably the most underrated movie of all time when you really break down the meaning of what this movie is about. And it fucking really spoke to me.
That's probably the greatest movie on combat, one-on-one combat.
I would agree.
Ever made.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And especially if you can really hear the messages that it's giving you in this movie. It's excellent. It's funny. They just did and I saw this after the fact, which completely fucking pissed me off. They did the 25-year or the 30-year thing. Mm-hmm. It was filmed in Spokane, Washington. They showed the movie at a movie theater there, and the cast members came out and spoke about it. I would have fucking flown there for that. Are you shitting me? I'd have been there in fucking 30 seconds to go up there and be a part of that. That movie literally changed my life.
Yeah, I suppose me too. It made me want to wrestle. I mean, probably the reason maybe it made me fall in love with wrestling.
Well, it's funny. I wasn't even into wrestling at all, and I didn't have to be for that movie to.
Yeah, it's this basic human story.
It's such a great movie.
I mean, that's what fighting does. It brings out the basic, the humanity of a person. Really, for the people that choose to step up and step in the ring, and then chase greatness and actually do it from against the long odds. That's why it's a beautiful game.
And it's so true. I mean, when you think about, I'm 54 years old right now, like that. I mean, it just fucking flew by.
Yeah.
And you think when you're young that you have all this time, you have no time. There's no time. I mean, one of the quotes on the wall in the gym in there is, there is no tomorrow. From Rocky 3, there is no tomorrow. Fuck that shit. Let's get all this shit done today.